Remember all those juicy rumors floating around about John Wick 5, long before we got a taste of John Wick, Chapter 4? Well, brace yourselves because Lionsgate just dropped the bomb we've all been waiting for. The Wickster is back, and he's ready to kick some serious once again. The main man at Lionsgate, Joe Drake, spilled the beans during their earnings call. And boy, oh boy, do I have some drool-worthy news for you. They've got not one, not two, but 3 sizzling John Wick projects on the way. The first one in the pipeline is John Wick 5. Next on the menu is Ballerina, a spin-off that promises to serve up some killer moves with deadly grace. And just when you thought you couldn't handle any more excitement, they're also dishing out the Continental, an exciting glimpse into the secretive world of Wick's favorite hotel. I know you're all eager to mark your calendars with John Wick 5's release date. But sadly, no one knows when that might be yet. As of May 2023, Lionsgate has the release date under strict lock and key. They've at least confirmed that the movie is in development though, but it might be a minute before we get to see the 5th film in theaters. Hey, what's the harm in guessing the timeline, right? If you look back at the track record for the previous 3 John Wick movies, you'll notice a pattern. Lionsgate delivers a movie within a 2 to 3 year time frame. So, based off that, it's safe to say that John Wick 5 will grace our screens no later than 2026. But wait, didn't John Wick die? I mean, we saw his grave at the end of the 4th movie. But that doesn't mean he's dead and gone, right? Sure, at the end of the film, they did give us a little heart-stopping moment, making it seem like Wick was pushing up daisies with a fancy gravestone and all. But let's not forget the golden rule of showbiz. If it's called John Wick 5, you better believe the man himself will be there front and center. Think about it. Would they dare continue this epic franchise without our beloved Keanu Reeves? Absolutely not. It's not just any movie. It's John Wick, for crying out loud. I'm dying to see how they pull off that death fake out and add to John Wick's legendary status. I should tell you though, there's no official word on Keanu's return for John Wick 5, but I'd be utterly shocked if he didn't come back. I mean, there's still so much of his story that's left to tell, and I have a feeling the franchise is just getting warmed up. Because if you think about it, we never saw Baba Yaga's actual dead body. I don't think the movie ever shows his lifeless body. We just get to see Winston and the Bowery King pay their respects at John's grave. Sure, he collapses after his intense battle with Kane and the Marquis, but that alone doesn't seal the deal on his demise. So, is he really dead, or just faking it? To add more fuel to the fire, when the Bowery King curiously asks Winston about John's final destination, whether he went to hell or heaven as they walk away, Winston's mischievous smirk in response hints at something more. It's like the end of an era, but not necessarily the end of our favorite assassin's journey. The mystery surrounding John Wick's fate deepens even further, because the possibility of Wick faking his death and starting a new life is gaining traction among fans. According to one theory, Wick's desire for a peaceful existence away from the deadly world of assassins may have led him to orchestrate his own death. By severing all ties and disappearing, he could finally experience the peace his late wife had always wished for him. Some even speculate that when Wick tells Winston to take him home, he's referring to his birthplace in Belarus, where he could start afresh. But here's the problem, this theory has a lot of loopholes. For starters, Wick had already broken free from the clutches of the High Table, making it unnecessary for him to fake his death. Such a plot twist could then risk diluting the quality of the 4th film and feel like an unnecessary extension to the story. So while John Wick Chapter 5 is indeed on the horizon, the form it will take and how it will use our beloved protagonist remains a mystery. Now that we know Reeves is coming back for sure, let's look into who else would be reprising their roles. Aside from Wickster, we can also expect the return of Ian McShane as the suave Continental owner, Winston, who has regained his status by the end of Chapter 4. Lawrence Fishburne's also going to pop up again as the Bowery King, and as for Karen, Lance Reddick won't be making a comeback in Part 5, which is a bummer, but life goes on, I guess. However, we'll still get one last glimpse of Reddick as the faithful concierge in the Ballerina spin-off. As for the rest of the cast, it's a bit of a guessing game, really. Donnie Yen might return as Wick's old pal, Kane, assuming he survives the assassination attempt teased in the post-credit scene of Chapter 4. Shamir Anderson's enigmatic tracker could also make a comeback, adding more intrigue to the mix. And who knows, we might even see Ana de Armas's ballerina Rooney appear in the main movies, assuming she survives her own spin-off adventure. While that's all fine and dandy, Chapter 4 doesn't exactly lay the groundwork for a fifth movie. So, how will they finesse it? In an interview with Collider in May 2022, director Chad Stahelski referred to Chapter 4 as a good conclusion to an emotional thread that we've already had. Now, if there's no fifth movie, it doesn't get more conclusive than killing off your main character, does it? But we're diving into the realm of possibilities, folks. While John Wick Chapter 4 may not explicitly set up a fifth movie, it does hint at the potential for a soft reboot and a fresh storytelling direction. It seems like the creators might consider a new narrative, separate from the familiar elements of the High Table and the Continental. Chapter 4 introduces intriguing new characters like Akira and the Tracker, but if their stories continue, it's more likely to be spin-offs or secondary characters in the fifth movie. They might add an extra layer of depth and excitement, but it's unlikely they'll take center stage as the main characters. Now, let's take a look at what the fans have got to say. According to some fan theories floating around Reddit, the fifth installment of the franchise could take our favorite assassin into the depths of hell itself. Yeah, you heard that right. Apparently, John Wick might just dive headfirst into the dark and mysterious depths of the abyss in the upcoming film. This wild theory suggests that Wick's thirst for vengeance will take him on an extraordinary journey, bringing him face to face with supernatural beings lurking within the underworld. But where did this theory even come from? Well, it has to do with Viggo's last words to our protagonist, "See you in hell." The iconic line sparked speculation that John Wick might have died. But here's where things get interesting. In the twisted world of John Wick, death may not be the end for our unstoppable assassin. Instead, it's believed that even in the fiery depths of hell, Wick will continue to carry out his deadly tasks. The theory suggests that Wick will come face to face with all the enemies he's dispatched throughout the previous movies. And who better to serve as the ultimate boss battle than Viggo, the man who set everything in motion? With the surrealism of the franchise and the religious symbolism of Wick's tattoos, it all kind of makes sense. But does this mean the fifth movie could be the end of the franchise? See, each chapter in the John Wick saga represents a stage of grief. In the first film, we witness denial. John clings to his past life, refusing to accept the loss of his wife. His home remains untouched, a shrine to his denial. The overreaction to the loss of the puppy shows that he's not coping well. Moving on to Chapter 2, we delve into the stage of anger. Wick's wrath knows no bounds as he embarks on a killing spree, letting his anger consume him. Violating the neutral zone in the Continental shows his uncontrolled rage. Then comes Chapter 3, Parabellum, where bargaining takes the spotlight. John spends much of the film bartering for favors and seeking help from various figures. From securing medicine to bargaining with the High Table for his life, he is constantly negotiating for survival. Now, with the upcoming fifth film, fans speculate that the final stage of grief, acceptance, will come into play. How will John Wick confront and come to terms with the reality of his situation? Will he finally find peace within himself? Looks like we'll have to wait and watch. So, from a crazy fan theory about the films mimicking the 5 stages of grief, to Lionsgate keeping fans at the edge of their seats with a string of new projects, this was everything you needed to know about John Wick 5.